So here are the tools you're going to need to change the spider gasket out on this Pentair 1.5" side mount multi-port on a Triton 2. You'll need some paper towels, the actual spider gasket, some needle nose pliers, a flathead screwdriver, a pair of small channel locks, some gasket sealant, Phillips screwdriver, and some Q-tips to dry out the grooves. So today we're going to be changing out a spider gasket on this Triton 2 sand filter. This is a side mount 1.5" multi-port valve. Our customer has been leaking 6 inches of water a day. So after diagnosing, we've noticed that basically when the pump's running in a filter position, he's losing about a gallon per minute out of the backwash line. So first thing we're going to do with a Phillips screwdriver is take out each of these screws. I've got a pair of channel locks just in case the nuts on the bottom spin. Most of the time they don't. So after all the screws are removed, we can pull this piece off. Don't worry about having to line it up. We know the filter position is always facing the filter, and it's got this nice little groove over here. Pull this out. So inside here we have the old spider gasket. As you can see by the black, that's the spider gasket, and over here there's no spider gasket even left. It's completely. We're gonna go ahead and try to get this out. So they use gasket sealing on these, so sometimes this just takes quite a while to get out, and sometimes they'll just come right out. This one is so dissolved that so I just got a bucket underneath here to catch all these pieces. And this one is very melted. So I'm going to continue working on this for the next 10 minutes or so. It's definitely going to take that to get this out of there. About there. It's been about 7 minutes, so it does take a little bit of time sometimes. Sometimes, like I said, they just pull right out. So this is definitely one of the harder ones that I've done. And this is probably about the 100th one I've done, so they're definitely kind of a common thing. Clean out the rest of this debris after we've got the water sucked down to a level that's down below far enough so it ain't going to be getting wet. Reset that. And then I like to take some paper towels. I just put my screwdriver with the paper towel and run it through all these grooves just to finish it up so we have a nice dry surface. Alright, everything's out of there. There's a little bit of black discoloration from the old gasket sealer, but it is smooth. Alright. And I'll probably just let this sit and dry for about 10 minutes. Come back, touch it up. So this filter's got a Pentair multi-port on it. It's actually the SM10-3, which is an 1.5 inch. It's a 6-bolt. And on those, if you're going to get the right spider gasket for it from Pentair, it would be part number 5100840. Or in our case, what we had in stock was a Hayward spider gasket. As you can see, it's an SPX0710XD. So once we got our gasket, we always want to make sure before we put our gasket sealer in there that it's the right gasket and it fits in there perfect. So now that this is sat for about 10 minutes and completely dried, we're going to apply our gasket sealer. So basically we're just going to put a little bit, don't overdo it. The more you put in there, the messier it's going to be for you. Around the outside once, and basically here we'll do these grooves. So we're going to take our Spider Gasket, line it up, how it's going to fit in there, and we're just going to work it in nice and easy. So now that our gasket's in there, we want to make sure everything's nice and clean right here at the top. There's also an O-ring that goes around this lid. So we're going to use our O-ring, silicone O-ring lubricant. And we're just going to lube up this outside O-ring on this. And we're going to put some lube on top of this new gasket. So this O-ring on this top multi-port handle, if you do put this back on and it seeps some water, the Hayward part for that is SPX071X23. Lubed up. So we're going to line up this multi-port with, as you can see, these ones are round. This one has this little notch in it, and this one here has a notch in it, so it's easy to line it back up. Our filter position. And now that that's on, we can just put our screws back in. This is where these channel locks come in handy. Put it on there, get a good tighten on it. Dry out. So I recommend letting them sit overnight before you fire them up. In the situation we're in right here, it's 10 degrees outside. This is a crawl space. It's going to get cold in here, so we'll probably let it sit for 4 hours, and I'll have them turn the system on here at dinner. So we're back here. We fired up the system after letting it sit for a while. We do have some seeping coming out between the top plate and the actual side mount here. So we're definitely going to need to change that gasket. So I'd highly recommend having one of those on hand, just so you don't have to deal with this. We could also just take it out, remove it, but we're going to just change it real quick. So with this new gasket in here, there's no way this thing's gonna leak. So we're gonna put this handle back over here on filter position and kick her on. There you have it. Change out the Spider gasket on this. As you can see, this sight glass right here, it's bone dry. Fix their leaky pool.